Hi DJQT back with their 2 cents no one asked for, and today we're discussing Exchange Season 3 Episode 14 review. Since I wasn't able to go through this journey with you guys, we'll start from now. It's unfortunate that I just thought of this ideal, but I'm a person of authenticity, so I'm not going to sit here and review episodes 1 to 13 and act like I didn't watch it weeks ago. However, in this review of episode 14 I will summarize what I've been thinking of the cast ever since episode 1, and that's what I can do authentically. I've noticed the panelists like to sugarcoat a lot of what happens on the show, to which I do understand to some extent because the weight of public opinion in Korea is tremendous. Cyberbullying is no joke and netizens don't let up, so any participants in the show could become a victim. However, we won't be doing that here. So while this is an episode review, it's more like my opinion on the participants and their relationships so far. We'll start with ex-couples and then discuss the individuals within that couple, and we'll also discuss their current and potential relationships, and who I think should get back together or who should just not be in a relationship at all, to be honest with you. Okay, so we'll start with Ju-won and Seo-kyung, and if we're being honest, I've been waiting to discuss them. I'm going to be frank here, they are a toxic couple. Now before you say anything, I have my reasons for believing so. So I actually thought they'd be the type of couple to play around but eventually end up getting back together, but the more the show goes on I realize that my first opinion was correct, being that they are just not right for each other simply because the way they function is too different. So while their relationship may be thrilling and fun, they're not the type I would see settling down and getting married. They'd just break up again for another small argument. They are that type of on and off couple. Now let's discuss them individually, starting with Ju-won. Ju-won to me is really nice, I like him. He's funny and has good conversation. I think he's someone you have to take the time to get to know, and I think he's one of the most loyal guys on the show. Honestly, if he was with the right person he wouldn't be on this show at all, which is telling. I think he should continue to pursue his relationship with Yoo-yoon because I feel like they really suit each other, and if we're being real I wouldn't be surprised if they end up together and are the only couple that lasts after the show is over. They have a real connection that they can explore, so I'm rooting for them to stay together. Now into Seo-kyung. What to say about her? Quite frankly, she's the problem in this relationship. She seems to be the type to play around with her significant other's feelings, like, oh, will he get jealous if I do this? Or, how will they react if this and this happens? She's the hypocritical one who brings the turmoil. I don't see Seo-kyung as someone who's really here to move on. I think she joined the show just for some fun and is slowly going to realize she bit off more than she can chew when Ju-won ends it with her for good. I'm not sure why she switched her target from Kwangtae, but Seo-kyung is very smart and calculating, so I have no doubt she can find a replacement. She probably won't be leaving alone, but will they last? Probably not, which is exactly why I don't buy her and Hee-yeon being a couple. I don't think Seo-kyung is genuinely interested in anybody, to be honest, but we'll see. Which brings me to my next couple, Hee-yeon and Haewon. Honestly, they should just end it. They really give a first love high school sweethearts vibe, which is why they can't seem to move on, but they both know they won't last if they get back together. They can't seem to have a proper conversation with each other without miscommunication. Them being a campus couple was cute, but now that they're at different stages in their life it's time to move on. Even Haewon knows nothing will change if they get back together. Hee-yeon is a fun friend and that's it. I don't think he has the emotional capacity for a relationship at this point in his life because he's someone who has a lot of growing to do. Mans is still taking exams, for God's sake. I don't think he has time for a whole nother relationship, and to add to that, he's a bit insensitive when it comes to certain things. I don't think if he were to have another relationship he would be all there, just another rinse and repeat. Haewon is really cute, but she seems to be a bit childish and naive when it comes to relationships, which is also why although she wears her heart on her sleeve she may not be able to communicate what needs to be communicated maturely at times. And I know her and Dong-jin have something going on, but she honestly would have been better off with Kwangtae. And there's a reason I don't think her match is in the house. If she dates anyone next or marries anyone, it won't be a Exchange Season 3 participant. And I think that's for the best. Now on to Dahae and Dong-jin. Oh geez, where do I begin? Dahae needs to heal and Dong-jin doesn't need to be in a relationship at all. Lol, it's funny but it's really not. They are without a doubt the most toxic couple in the house, hands down, and I think Dahae should get away while she can. So let's discuss Dahae first. I think she was probably like Haewon for most of her relationship with Dong-jin, but I feel like she's grown since she's been in the house. She's no longer naive, but she still has lingering feelings because of their history. But she knows that they are not good for each other, yet she also blinds herself to it because she has been stuck with him for so long. While she could have had something with Kwangtae or Chongjin, I just feel like at this point she needs to heal and to learn to love herself and learn to be alone before she gets into another relationship, so it won't be the same outcome. Now on to Dong-jin. I'm just going to be honest, I don't like him. He's a handsome guy at times, he resembles San from 80s with how he looks. He can be funny when he wants and kind and gentle when he wants, but that's just that. He genuinely comes off to me as a narcissistic manipulator, no matter how nice he is on the surface. For someone who's been with Dahae for 13 years and wants her to move on so he can move on, he's not really acting like it. The way he deals with Dahae is very cold, mean, aggressive, and again manipulative. He wants to make moves on others, but when she does it there's a problem, and to that point him and Seo-kyung have that trait in common. He doesn't want her to text him or talk to him or choose him, but when she doesn't there's a problem. When she wants to talk it out he talks over her, and doesn't try to see from her point of view and completely shuts and blocks her out, but from our understanding he couldn't even say he loved her when they were together, so where does he get the audacity to make this her fault, or her problem? He wants to happily move on but doesn't want her back, but wants her to mope around and be sad and isolated from forming her own connections, which is really controlling, all just for him to send her that one text of comfort, to pain he's causing, leading her on to believe they can rekindle their relationship and letting her know he's there for her, and he, oh so wants better for her. I can see right through it, and I'm not buying his gentleman act. Next couple is Yu Young and Chang Jin. To be honest, I haven't really paid much attention to them. They're a pretty boring couple if you ask me, so this will probably be a brief discussion. I think their relationship left a lot of things unsaid and honestly neither of them was ready to actually move on. I know what I said about Ju-won and Yu Young earlier, but now that I'm thinking about it I realized something. We'll start with Yu Young. Yu Young is really pretty, I can see why she's popular, but at first her being with Ju-won was a rebound if we're being honest, and actually she wasn't even dead set on Ju-won like she is now. When she first came into the house she wanted anyone's attention to get her mind off everything, so she was friendly with everyone, which is why her and Kwang Tae had that moment and why she was pretty much the target of affection for everyone at one point due to that. But Yu Young knew that she didn't really want to seriously move on, so she just went with whoever she clicked with most and whoever was most comfortable for her, so she chose Ju-won, but she didn't expect to catch feelings for him. And now that her ex popped up it complicates things because she obviously still has lingering feelings for him, especially when she sees him getting along with other female participants, but at the same time she still wants to see what could happen with her and Ju-won because they really get along, and to that I say go for it. Chang Jin is a bit of a mystery, but not really. He clearly is not ready to move on, and if Yu Young gave him a chance to get back together, he would take it. But he came a bit too late and didn't expect for Yu Young to get so close to someone else within that short amount of time, but it happened. Chang Jin is a genuine guy and he really gets along with Da-hae, but I think that they can only end up being friends because like I've said, Da-hae needs to heal and Chang Jin is not ready to move on. It feels like he was just chucked in and coupled up with whoever was left over or not actively getting to know anyone else, because as soon as he showed up everyone was like, oh well, that's for Da-hae. Which is why I don't think he should really be coupled up with anyone, because at this point they'd only be a rebound. Next couple, Sang-jung and her ex. I think you can tell I don't really pay much attention to this couple because I don't even remember her ex's name. It's really slipping my mind right now, but we must continue lol. I think they shouldn't have broken up in the first place, let alone be on exchange. So Sang-jung is honestly so underrated in the house. Honestly she's the cutest one to me. I think she's really pretty and cute and probably really fun to be around, but no one's really interested in her. I think all the male participants see her as like a little sister or friend type vibe. So no one's really interested in her romantically, which is sad, but like what can you do about it? Her ex seems to want her back and he actually cares for her, and likewise even though she's shown interest in other people, at this point she's just hopping around trying to find someone to stick to. But I can see that she seems to still want him to an extent, especially with her. I really missed him. Comment. I think they're wasting their time with something they could have talked about outside the show, so I'm not really sure why they're even here. They should just hash it out and get back together. Last couple, Kwang Tae and Jong Yun, at least I think that was her name. I think this couple just has different ways of expressing themselves emotionally and it doesn't really match each other's pace, but you can tell that their relationship was really loving and sweet. You can tell he loved her with how vulnerable he is with her, and I think it's a shame that she seems to want to move on, so I guess we'll see what happens. Now let's discuss Kwang Tae. So I've brought him up multiple times throughout this video simply because he's my favorite male participant this season. And I feel that he can have good chemistry with anyone in the house really. Like if he really put his all into it he could have been a great match with any one of the female participants, particularly Da-hae, Sang-jung or Haewon. However, the reason why he went from message central to zero messages at all was not in the way he carries himself. In fact, everyone loves Kwang Tae, but he closes himself off and guards himself to an extent, and seeing how his relationship with Jong-un played out I can see why. I think Kwang Tae is the most transparent and genuine male participant in the house. In the beginning it may seem that he was just going for anyone he can get, but I agree with what a panelist said, which was, he wanted to couple up with someone before his ex came, and I actually agree, he knew he was going to fold. I was trying to figure out for the longest why he was so hellbent on choosing Yu Young when they don't even talk to each other. And she obviously is locked in with Ju-won at this point. In fact, he's probably not even her third option, but I think Kwang Tae is the type to try to distract himself with other things to take away from the situation, which is why he was hopping around from girl to girl in the beginning. Like yeah, he was nice and gentlemanly, but he obviously had his guard up, and I feel like that was what pushed his potential prospects away. Kwang Tae was open to getting to know anybody, but at some point he gave up, so he just continued picking Yu Young. But he knows he has no chance with her. The only one he's emotionally attached to is obviously his ex. Now onto his ex Jong Yun. When I first saw her I was like, wow, she's so pretty, and honestly from the moment I seen them together I wanted them to get back together. We haven't had much time to form an opinion on the new exes, but her thought process kind of vexes me sometimes. Like, I don't think she's here to find new love, but I don't think she was necessarily hoping to get back with Kwang Tae either. I think she's just in it for the ride, but she confuses me so much. I can see why Kwang Tae would be emotionally exhausted. It feels like she leads with her head and not her heart in relationships, if that makes sense, but at the same time you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. So either Kwang Tae puts up with it or finds someone else that moves his pace. All in all, I don't see either of them genuinely getting with someone this season or getting back together without the same problems coming back up. So yes, that concludes my rant. This has been Exchange Season 3 Episodes 1 to 14 review, and wow, that was so much I'm tired. Anyway, this has been DJungQT with their 2 cents no one asked for. By the way, this was really tedious but fun to do, so maybe I should do more videos like this. Anyways, cutie out.